House, and welcome to TrueHouse, episode 444. Today's date, we are Tuesday the 30th of November, I believe. Okay, I'm going to go live on Instagram as well. Hold on for a silly face. And good evening to Instagram as well. I'm Justin House. This is TrueHouse, episode 444. Today, Tuesday, 30th of November. So, stating the obvious, tomorrow is December the 1st. I'm pretty sure it is anyway. Yeah, tomorrow is December the 1st, right? Okay, so my voice has returned. My voice actually came back. Hang on. Wow. That's embarrassing, wasn't it? my voice is okay. My voice came back yesterday. No, seriously, thank you for asking. But no, my it's I've had 4 days off. Four. Anyway, I've had some days off due to losing my voice completely. I got pretty sick actually. It wasn't COVID. I don't know why I've got to state that, but anyway, welcome back. I'm glad to be back. It's nice to be back, etc., etc. Yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about. Hope you've all been okay. Hope you had a good weekend. And kicking off, just taking up where we left off. This is episode 444. She's so much to discuss, guys. Ghislaine Maxwell. In fact, I'm going to go with Ghislaine Maxwell first, just to discuss that because it's part of the distraction technique, isn't it? That whether we're talking Lex Wexner. I can't say his name anyway. The people the people that started the likes of Victoria's Secret. To say the least, there's so many people in Ghislaine Maxwell's little black book. It just seems, meanwhile, the overreaction to Omicron, which obviously everyone's saying yes, the Omicron variant is spelling moronic, which is, you couldn't. It is a great script flipped, isn't it? It is proper script flipping. The South African, this new variant is just, I know it's not nice to laugh at COVID, but I'm not laughing at COVID. I'm laughing at how it is, how we've become, and the hubris of Dr. Fauci and just the media as a whole. Really, you got to be sleeping under a rock to not good evening, to not see this stuff. It's just so kind of patently obvious what's going on. So we've got a lot to talk about tonight. Like I say, the script flip with this new variant, and I'm going to focus on Ghislaine Maxwell first, just for a little bit. All I'm going to do is actually just to name a few of the people that are kind of, from Bill Gates on down, really. Obviously, the obvious one to say is Prince Andrew. We all saw that, but the fact that she's charged with 6 counts, or 6 offences, and caveat, you don't need to be a legal expert just to know that this woman is part of a hideous cult, that they're all, it's just one of those, isn't it? Like, it's okay. So the high ups, what did Boris Johnson's sister recently spoke out? They're all friends, right? They're all, it's kind of this intertwined elite, the elites. It's just so nothing that's going on. I don't think any of us could have prepared for this. It's like if I said to anyone out there, or imagine 2018, 2019, if I said to you, hey, do you think, that the planet will be gripped by fear and selling each other out and just pissing on each other? I mean, literally, I'm going, I obviously watch my language, but family friendly and stuff. But frankly, pissing up each other's backs, this sort of duplicitous behaviour, the two-faced behaviour of people to people, but just where do you start? I mean, I don't want to sort of kick this
Here are some results from a search.
Oh, thank you, Google. There's just so much to dissect here. I mean, let's just name. I'll tell you what. Let's just do that. Let's just go with. I'm gonna have a little look here on Google and just look at Victoria's Secret. Who started Victoria's Secret? Let's have a look here. I'm just going to, actually, I'm going to, do you know what? I haven't even turned on my voice notification. So, Victoria's Secret founder. Victoria's Secret founder. I forgot his name. Is it Les Wexner? Lex Wexner? Les whatever. Les, it's Les. So Les Wexner. So it started when I was 5, so this goes back a long time. Obviously, this guy called Roy Raymond started Victoria's Secret back when I was 5 in 1977. But let's look at Les Wexner. Here we go. Leslie Herbert Wexner is an American billionaire. I mean, he's 84. Look, this is what I want to say, okay? There seems to be, whether we're looking at Biden just turning 79 or 80 and Pelosi's like 81, I don't want to get too political, but just it sounds ageist, but you can't make a comment about the people that are apparently in charge without making it, or certainly mentioning the fact that it doesn't matter if you're an English person or an American person. You look at your whatever you do. How many times have I said this on this live stream? It doesn't matter what pill you swallow, your red pill or your blue pill or your black pill, white pill, clear pill, whatever you believe in. There are people out there that are saying, I'm not alone saying this. There's like two movies going on. There's two distinct realities going on. As a Gen Xer, a guy that's, born in the 70s, when I see people that are my age and 5-10 years older than me saying stuff like, I've never known a period in history in their life. So yes, I'm spraying. I'm going to mention Joe Rogan because I know Joe Rogan is like a cultural touchstone right now, and he's become immensely popular and by proxy very powerful. In terms of the conversation that we're having, and Rogan's in a position of being uncancelable now, which is fantastic, I feel. But I made the mistake the other day of looking at the BBC News. This is literally a day or two ago when this Omicron variant came out of the COVID, and some American friends were saying to me, "Hey, it spells moronic." And I was like, yes, so it does. You look at the letters and you're thinking, I know the Greek alphabet and the World Health Organization skipped Z. Apparently, the next variant was going to be Z. By all means, look, I'm not doing any fact checking. I'm just spitballing here. But apparently, the the Chinese Prime Minister, the Xi Jinping, whatever he's called, that guy. And of course, Z and Zer, the gender thing. That's why the WHO, so the World Health Organization, this is all related, by the way. The WHO wouldn't call this new variant by its actual proper next Greek alphabet letter name, which apparently is meant to be Z. Is that with an XI or a Z? I don't know how you spell it. We've had the, whatever, the Delta and stuff. And it's like, just, I don't know, they skipped it because politically the optics don't look good. So I find that to be worrisome, isn't it? That the World Health Organization are automatically not calling something medical that should be called Z. They're not calling it that because it's not in keeping with, well, politics, frankly. I'll drop it, but I find that indicative of just the over politicizing of everything. And you turn your TV on, well, your screen, and you see Fauci. So front and center, in spite of the pathological lying, the fact that Fauci has repeatedly lied to everyone, like regarding gain of function. This is just, I'm stating the obvious. Everyone knows this now. Everyone knows that Fauci is a complete pathological liar. So you've got people that are appearing on our screens who, I don't know, it's very much like a bad movie. Like I say, that's why people are now, are you watching this film or that film? So I don't really have the language. I can't think of language potent enough. I can't think of sentences heavy enough, because you don't need to become hyperbolic. You don't need to become, I'm Justin. I'm going to start using words and language and to sensationalize things and to kick it into high gear and just to over egg everything. You don't need to. It on its face, it's enough. It's mental enough. Okay, so when the South Africans have openly said, "Oh, this new variant might be more transmissible, but it's not more dangerous. It's not hurting people more. It's not like there's a new variant of COVID in town that's so frightening. It's the molecular structure of COVID, the spike protein, whatever you want to call it, has stepped up its game to the extent that it's become super powerful and super virulent and is just wiping people out left, right, and centre. That's not the case. The explicit and emphatic language from the South African doctor that actually found this bloody thing has said categorically the symptoms are mild. So in terms of transmissibility and how quickly can it spread from one person to the next, that might have gone up, but it's not more deadly in terms of how virulent is it. So that being said, why then the knee-jerk? Why the lockdown? And to prove the hypocrisy, you've got the likes of Joe Biden, and again, I'm not the only one to point this out. Everyone's pointed this out. That you'd have to be asleep to miss this. So again, I'm gonna jog it on. I'm gonna get off this topic, but it's like I've said my bit. Things aren't aging well. So when you've got the President of the United States, who, again, it's like I'm at the point now where when I do these live streams, there's no juncture, there's no point in these live streams where I think to myself, hey, I want to talk about politics. I want to make the words that I say political. I want to. No, it's bollocks. It's not that. It's the way people are behaving, the way whether it's COVID, whether it's Gala Maxwell, whether it's this. Were we like this before? Were we this mental? Do you know what I mean? Like the questions I've got. I was texting my friend the other day, Doug, in London, and I was just texting on WhatsApp, and I said to him in the text message, this might sort of explain a little bit how I'm kind of feeling here, and I wonder if any of you guys do as well. There's a strong argument, provided you're able to earn a crust and conduct whatever chunk of your life, whatever portion of your life needs to be engaging, being online, whether you're paying a bill, whether you earn your living by being online. Let's face it, a lot of society now earns their living online. You could be a salesman, you could be whatever you do for a living. A significant portion of that now is online. Other than that, if you're able to get off grid and to swerve this stuff, I strongly recommend you do, because I'm at the point now where it's not denial. It's not like, oh, I want to be an ostrich and just bury my head in the sand and ignore it. It's not about that. It's not about wanting to ignore what's going on, but it's about understanding that nothing is good. Nothing. I mean, you see, that sounds so negative, isn't it? What do I mean? What I mean is, it's like the very fuel, the very, it's like throw more gasoline, isn't it? Throw more petrol on the fire. The very thing that ignites people's conversation and keeps the conversation alight and keeps people these days. Look, Jack Dorsey's just left Twitter, right? I mean, good, but the point is, we've descended. I think we're it's really regressive. I know it's called progressivism. I know it's like you're meant to be a libertarian and be progressive and so open-minded and just kind and loving. And I think we're going backwards. We're being idiotic. We're being imbecilic. And I'm trying to be upbeat and positive. I'm wanting to lean into help yourself, help your friends and family. Don't be a dick. Don't be hostile. Don't be toxic. Don't be poisonous. But this is what I was texting my friend, and I was saying, I lament the. Again, I don't live in this reality, but I was watching Some Mothers Do Have 'Em the other day. Frank Spencer, Michael Crawford, yeah. It's like a 70s English comedy thing, very sort of slapstick comedy. Or Fawlty Towers, with the great John Cleese, from the Python team. And just, it harks back to an era. The reason why a guy like me will look at that and go, oh, God, man, I miss that, is because what's happening now is so disgusting. And what's happening now is so evil. I mean, it is literally evil. It is. So, and I know I'm kind of contradicting myself, because if anyone's watched these live streams for more than an episode or three will know what a fan I am of smart slabs. And I try and call them smart slabs, not smartphones, because I don't think they're phones anymore. I know you can make a telephone call on them, but let's face it, they don't really act as phones anymore. They're computers, aren't they? And I'm a real fan. Personally, I really get a lot of pleasure out of what I call smart slabs. Apart from that, I really don't like the way online behavior is making people behave. So what do I mean? I mean that people, ask yourself how you behave. Literally check yourself out, call yourself out. Be like, would I do that in real life? IRL. So if you're being a dick to someone online, if you're looking at someone's, whatever you're into, yeah, if you're a Facebook person or an Instagram, it doesn't matter. It's not about that. It's about how you're behaving. So whatever platform you use, or however you interact online, even if you're just sending a message to your girlfriend or to your mates, or you know what I mean, it doesn't matter what level of mundane interaction I'm going to use to highlight my point. My point is this: are you behaving on screen completely different to how you would in real life? And it's like an argument that people have had. Well, not since time immemorial, because this is something that's happened in the last decade. But in the last decade, specifically, probably more like 5 years, the level of negativity, the level of toxicity, what's really gone through the roof is how awful people are to each other. How people, and again, this is thematically a constant thread in these live streams. Probably out of every 10 live streams, I spend 60-70% mentioning this very thing. But then again, culturally, societally, this is why I talk on TrueHouse about the truth and about how are you talking, how are you behaving, are you being a complete arse online, are you, again, this could be, if you're a parent, how your children are doing it, how detached they might have become if they're into gaming or whatever. An outsider would look at me and go, oh yeah, what boomer. it's not that. A, I'm a Gen Xer and proud of it, but B, I love the tech. I love the tech. I love a specific area of the tech. What I don't love is how demented we're becoming, how nasty we've become. If you're even remotely conspiratorial, if you're even, again, you don't need to be a conspiracy theorist, you just need to look at this from an aspect of what would a country or two do? Let's just take China and Russia, for example. And this is not a stretch, guys. This is not Justin being, again, hyperbolic. Justin, like I'm really exaggerating. I'm being, intentionally over the top, and I'm trying to embellish this and make a elaborate story to go, yeah, guys, this is all a big conspiracy. Listen to me, crackpot theory, tinfoil hat job. It's not about that. It's about it is happening. It's very obvious, and if you can't see it, I think you're probably willfully unaware, willfully asleep, or just and or in denial. And what I mean is, if you look at a China or a Russia, it's not a stretch at all, is it? If you were, I am one of thousands that suggested this. If you were a bot farm, if you were, one of those organizations that literally recruit people to go into a warehouse and just to physically spend, people are out there 16, 18 hours a day doing tweet stuff, and we say, oh yeah, look at that bot online, look at that, it's the influence and the steering of a country. We've heard of election meddling, we've heard of the likes of Facebook and whatnot, but you can, and again, this is not a stretch, guys. This is not a stretch. This is not like, oh crikey, what are you saying, Justin? You've been watching too many films, you lunatic. No. This is like a easy China Russia job. How would you divide and conquer a country? Well, the first word, divide. Well, that's happened, isn't it? That's happened and happening. Yeah, and that, again, I think the war has begun. Let me over-egg my own point here. It has begun. If you're China and America and you're thinking, how can we basically make the West, the UK and the US, how can we make that entire structure just go pancake on its face, just literally, whoopsie, like we face plant, as a society. So the social breakdown of democracy, you would cause the citizens of the country to firstly bicker and to hate each other. Welcome whoever, someone's watching there, which is nice to see. So I've got someone here and someone there. I mean, well, I don't know who you are, but thank you, welcome. By all means, make a comment, let me know who you are. This is not a stretch, this is not absurd, this is not absurdist, this is literally a plot line. See, the first thing you would do if you were one of these big countries that is anti-American, anti the West, anti-English, you would just say, right, I'm going to make sure that the citizens of the country bicker and divide themselves before I conquer it. Divide and conquer. See, it's not a conspiratorial stretch. It's not a wacky Hollywood plot to go, yeah, let's just make all the Gen Pop, all the civvies fall, just literally have a fallout. And that's happened. That's happened. Because America is already, it's divided, isn't it, into two films. Again, which movie are you watching? I could use an analogy here. Look, as a Star Wars fan, and again, being the age I am, and the fact that, let me just, bear with me, right? The original trilogy, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, to my mind, the original trilogy was the best. The subsequent films, the prequels and stuff, just a bit naff, and the last three that were done, again, not great. Good films on their own, but not the original Star Wars. That's how the society has fragmented. That's how it's become. Because if you didn't show, my point is this: if you didn't show the original Star Wars films to anyone, and you showed them like a Force Awakens, and I've forgotten now, but the was it the Last Jedi and Sky? Oh, I can't remember. But if you just showed somebody independently, and you never said to them, "Look, this is how Harrison Ford, looked when he was younger, and this is Carrie Fisher, this is Mark Hamill, this is the feel of the iconic, nostalgic, beautiful, the John Williams score, the loveliness, that just wonderful Star Wars feeling." And you didn't show it to them, they would think that the recent three were hot shit. And again, on their own, they're kind of cool, but they're nothing compared to the original three. And that's what's happened to us. That you've got people that are convinced of, a certain modality, yes, a certain way of living, a certain existence. I just. Anyway, look, I can feel myself now going into a. I'm painting myself into a cultural corner. I'm painting myself into a conversational corner. I've said my bit, and it's very basic. Top down view. You don't need to be a particularly super duper bright person to realise what's going on. I'm sure you've got examples in your own family. So if anyone's watching this, and again, to bring it home to your own life, whether you're a single man or a single girl, just, that has a partner or a girlfriend, or you've got kids or family, or just work colleagues, or if you're like me and you're a complete hermit and you don't see anyone and you just, function on your own and you have no interaction with anyone, that's probably why I'm online so much. That you've got a difference of opinion to the point where each person's respective reality is different. Does that make sense? So ask yourself, really ask yourself, the next time you want to engage in a conversation, or just have a heated conversation about, just what sort of level of indoctrination has or is the person experiencing that you're about to speak to. Does that make sense? So if you're going to say to your work colleague, and have that water fountain conversation, hey, did you see the Ghislaine Maxwell thing? Did you, or crikey, have you heard this new Omicron thing, this new variant? And did you see Dr. Fauci on TV? When I say TV, I mean screen, yeah? Because I don't have a TV, I don't watch TV. But just as a explanatory caveat, if I say TV, I'm just referring to however you take on your media, yeah, your content. Whether you're like me, using I've got an iPad, or you're using your phone. That's it. I don't have a TV. I have no monitors. So ask yourself what level of conversation you're about to embark on before you go there with anyone. So it's just like a word of warning, really, because that person could be a fully paid up member of the left or the right. But you got to remember the optics, the lens through which this has been viewed, or should I say skewed. These days, a neutral. I've always been a centrist. I've always been. It's not about being a fence sitter. No. It's about having an informed opinion based on the leanings and the words of the right and the left, and I go in the middle and go, actually, there's a bit of truth here. There's a bit of truth there. You're full of shit. You're full of shit. I'm going to kind of, sieve, as in SIEVE, like a colander. I'm going to sieve out the nonsense, the crap, and like you're mining for gold, right? So there's that. Just ask yourself, before you go there, how balls deep, or whatever deep, is the person invested in the version of reality that they're living versus yours. And again, it's very Matrix-like, isn't it? It's very red pill versus blue pill. It's hard not to politicize this, even though it's not political and I'm not political, but it has become political. And when I say it, I mean society, I mean COVID, I mean the news, I mean opinions, sport, entertainment, food, business, money, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's all become bloody political. It's become like a party. It's, you know, bipartisan. It's become, yeah, literally, there's two sides. There's two factions. So going back to the Ghislaine Maxwell thing, I'm just going to look at her charges. I don't even know if I've got this working. Hey Google. What are the 6 charges Ghislaine Maxwell has been charged with?
Here are the top search results.
Okay, it's working. All right, it's working. So, okay, Ghislaine Maxwell. It is Ghislaine. You don't say the S. It's not Ghislaine or Ghislaine. It's Ghislaine. Ghislaine. Okay, it's a silent S. And my American friends, I love them to bits, but the Americans call her Giz or Giz. It's quite funny, Giz. So Ghislaine Maxwell, who are the alleged victims and what are the charges? This is 12 hours ago. All right, what a piece of shit. Okay, Sky News. Look, Sky News Australia is better than some of the stuff we have here, because it just is. The charges Ghislaine Maxwell faces involves 4 alleged underage victims and multiple locations over a 10-year period between 1994 and 2004. Think about that. Think about that. A decade worth of diddling. It's terrible. It's terrible. The long-awaited trial of Ghislaine Maxwell, who is facing 6, there we go, so I got that bit right, 6 sex trafficking charges, is due to start in New York. It's yesterday, okay, Monday. So I'm giving you, information that's exactly a day old. The charges, see, this is where it's just, honestly, guys, this is where it's, oh wow, Rogan's got Ted Nugent on. The charges involve 4 alleged underage victims and multiple locations. It repeats the same charge. The youngest victim was 14 years old. Maxwell also faces 2 counts of perjury, which will be tried separately. She denies all the charges and has pleaded not guilty. Isn't it? That's already bullshit. Okay, so look, we know. Yeah, we know it's bollocks. Jeffrey Epstein, this is her association with Jeffrey Epstein. The wealthy financier and convicted sex offender is at the heart of the allegations. Prosecutors claim Maxwell assisted, facilitated, and contributed. Let's just dissect those words again, okay? Assisted, think about it. If I said to you, can you assist me in choosing a new hat? This is where it gets a bit stronger than being involved in assisting someone. Let me assist you in wiping your ass. Let me assist you in dusting off that cobweb in the corner of the room. Let me assist you in holding the stepladder while you're dusting the cobweb off the ceiling in the corner of the room. I'm giving the most absurd examples here. I don't know why that came into my head. Probably because I looked into the corner of my room and saw one. Second word, facilitated. Okay, so assisted, facilitated. Third word, contributed. So contribution, again, think about that. I've contributed to. That's deeply worrying. I mean, facilitate. What was the first word? Assist, facilitate, and contribute. Which largely took the form of sexualized massages. So again, dirty old man. I just, no, just, it's the stuff of movies. This is so filthy. They argue Maxwell encouraged, the word alleged, the allegations, the word alleged is used just, well, every other word is alleged. Encouraged alleged victims to travel to Epstein's residences across the US, knowing that it would result in their grooming for and subjection to sexual abuse. So her primary argument is the mere fact that these young girls were like, oh, okay then, right, is in Ghislaine world, that's them just, I mean, I say, look, I'm not going to go too hard tonight. I've done 35 minutes already. My the way I enunciate my words. I've done 35 minutes. Tonight, by the way, I don't want to push my luck. It's episode 444. It's my first one back after 4 or 5 days. My confidence isn't great. I've not been feeling well. This is the first day my voice has been sort of okay. Yeah, I'm not going to make a big thing of it, although I just have. But look, you know, anyway, look, I'm going to say a bit more about this. I'm going to do like another 5 minutes, and I'm going to tap out because like I said, I still don't feel quite there. The defendant is also accused of taking part in group sex with Epstein and one, again, alleged victim. Let me just count the number of times I've seen the word alleged. Bear in mind, I'm literally reading 2 paragraphs here. 1, 2, 3. I'm including the word allegation as well. So alleged and allegations. 4, 5. Okay, 5. 6. Okay, there's 6 times I'm seeing the word alleged. I know they do it for legal reasons. I get that. I understand that, but we know this is where we're living in 2 realities. We're living in two different films. Wouldn't it be great? This is the world I crave. The delivery system of truth. Again, you know, the clues in the name, guys. I call this TrueHouse, and there's a reason why I call it TrueHouse, and I'm going to continue calling it TrueHouse, and just it's true. I don't know, honestly, guys. I don't know. I'm a fan of the truth. You know, it's like the old Jack Nicholson thing in A Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth. I like the truth. I think the truth is in short supply, and the truth is often very manipulated and messed with. Did anyone see our Prime Minister, Boris Johnson? I know I'm doing a little bit of a tangent, but did anyone see our Boris Johnson the other day just completely lose the plot? Completely off book, off script, just everything. It was a disaster of a public appearance. He was at the, what do you call it? Not the lectern, the Rostrum lectern, but you know, he was having a moment flapping through papers, and it's obviously I'm jealous because he's got hair, but he said the word "forgive me" literally 4 times. Forgive me, because he was literally he just lost his way completely and ended up talking about Peppa Pig. I don't know if you've seen the footage or not, but it was an absurd moment of clowning. I mean, again, it's at the very least, I'm going off. I'm just saying, when people like our Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, is like, oh, did anyone see Peppa Pig? Again, it's like me just talking about Gremlins, just randomly. I know I go off topic, and I'm my own worst derailer. I will often derail this. You know, it's like, well, there's Justin again. He's like, talk, but I'm going to trip myself up, sabotage my own conversational point and derail it. It's the inner saboteur. That's just my busy mind and the fact that I'm kind of verbose. Boris Johnson, on the other hand, simply lost not only where he was in terms of, this is a public speech, you're a public speaker, you're, you know, a prime minister. And meanwhile, again, look at the incompetency, look at the senility set in with Joe Biden. Come on, man, you know, literally, I don't know. It's just, Anyway. So what have I mentioned? I've mentioned the Omicron thing, which is moronic, because our reaction, again, the reaction from the World Health organization, Eco Health Alliance, that is someone that needs to be called to Congress, is Peter Daszak. Believe me, evil. I can't believe Dr. Fauci is still even employed. Again, evil. So I've mentioned Fauci, I've mentioned Omicron, the new variant, of course it's moronic because it is. Anything else? I mentioned the Ghislaine thing. Again, watch this space. Tomorrow's day 3 of the trial. But this is a woman facing 80 years. Just to kind of summarize what I'm trying to say, because this is typical me. I talk like, and then it's like, he's crashed it. I just want to keep it to 3 things tonight. So I've mentioned the Ghislaine thing. I've mentioned our general tone, the fact that we are rapidly losing the plot in terms of how we speak, that people are not or no longer equipped to handle truth or tell the truth or to be transparent enough to go, this is what's actually happening, and to stop whapping everything, weaponized and politicized. And that everything is seen through the lens. Again, it's that word optics, seen through the lens of politicizing everything. But it's not just me, it's not me choosing this. It's the World Health Organization, their very card they've played with the naming of this new variant is in and of itself political. They've politicized a virus, a disease that if they only cared about our health, if the World Health Organization, the WHO, only cared about our health in the way they claim to, they would call it bloody Wurzel Gummidge. It wouldn't matter what they call it. They just go, right, that's the name, because that's how it is in the Greek alphabet. You can stuff it. And they would start to, focus on measures. But again, this is I don't know what that was. This is a reaction. It's an overreaction, isn't it? Everything's an overreaction. So, and like I said, the third thing is watch this space on the Ghislaine Maxwell case. We saw the outrage associated with the Kyle Rittenhouse acquittal. I, for one, was ever so happy that kid was acquitted. So that'll that'll do it tonight. I think I'm 42 minutes in. I feel a bit. I'm not quite on my. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. I don't quite feel right. I don't know what I've had. I did test myself every day. So I have 6 rat tests, the rat kits, the rapid antigen test kits in my cupboard. So I think I'm okay. My COVID rat tests were negative. But anyway, I've just grateful my voice is working again. Episode 445 tomorrow. I'll be back. Probably just again tonight was a bit of a so this. Look. Let me leave you tonight with this thought. I understand anyone watching this or listening to this would go, what's wrong with that guy? He's struggling to make sense of everything. Yes and no. I struggle with the pervasive tsunami, this incoming, like, can you see this big, it's almost like an impact, isn't it? It's like this asteroidal thing coming. But I don't like what's being done to society. I don't like what's being done, and how people are, people are behaving. Anyway, no, I'm going to leave it. So look, Ghislaine Maxwell is an ongoing thing. We've seen I don't think that people will leap to her defence. I hope not. But we're already seeing a divide between, again, it's two sides, isn't it? Two camps, two versions of truth. As a live streamer who only gives a damn about telling the truth, speaking the truth, and again, a critical person could and would say, well, Justin, what makes you right? How do you know that that is true? It's obvious. And let me give one example. When everyone, and I mean everyone from the left, said Kyle Rittenhouse carried his rifle across state lines. Yes, I'm going to give one example to highlight a general thing. I'm going to give one example to highlight the entire narrative. And it's this one thing, because it's typical of what's happening. When senators, important people, really important, powerful people, tweeted and spoke up and said, young Kyle Rittenhouse took his rifle and travelled across state lines with it. No, he didn't. It was at his friend's house, Jacob Black, was it? And his father lived in Waukesha, and he stayed there, and the rifle was already there. And he was commuting to and from Waukesha because it's Wisconsin, because he worked there and his father was there and the rifle was already there. So the fact that he physically crossed state lines to and from work is no different to someone leaving Bournemouth, the town I live in, going to Southampton each day because that's where your job is, right? That's all he did. The rifle used was already there. He didn't. So what I'm saying is, all these people on the news and politicians repeatedly said publicly and tweeted, Kyle Rittenhouse carried his weapon across the state lines. It's factually incorrect. This came out immediately in the trial. Again, that's not an opinion, is it? That's not an opinion, it's a fact. It's a matter of fact. This is what I'm saying. This is typical of the narrative of what they, the left, do. Well, Justin, you're a right-wing extremist. No, not at all. I'm in the middle. I'm seeking truth in the middle trench. But the middle now, if you're a centrist, you're called far right, which shows how radically left the lefties have become when, I can't. All right, that'll do tonight. That's 48 minutes. I hope it hasn't been horrendous tonight, but like I say, I'm very flawed. What I do with these live streams are super flawed. Yeah. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to post it and see what gives. I'll be back tomorrow night. Hope this was okay. Hope you got some entertainment out of it, or interest, or whatever. It kept you, I don't know. Yeah. All right. Thank you for joining me. This has been episode 444. I am Justin House, and I'll be back tomorrow night. Same time, same place, same face. Cheers.